All right, guys, this is just an assignment that I want to go over with you. You do not have to turn it in. It is not for credit, but it will help you on any quiz or test that we have. So you have been working with chapters 1 and 2, then you read chapter 3. So we want to look at describing the first harvest. Is this going to let me write on it? I don't think it's going to let me write on it. All right. Okay, I think I fixed the issue. So in the beginning of chapter 3, we see that things seem really good. The rebellion has happened, the animals have taken over the farm, and it says describe the first harvest after the animals take over. So what I need you guys to understand is that after the animals take over, it is the biggest harvest they have ever had. All right. So why do you think this is important? Why do you think Orwell wants to make it a point that after the rebellion, this is the biggest harvest they've ever had? They've had no help from the humans. Everybody is working together. As we've read through chapter 3, it says sometimes the work was hard. The implements had been designed for human beings and not for animals, and it was a great drawback that no animal was able to use any tool that involved standing on its hind legs. Again, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. But even through all the difficulty, they were able to make it the biggest harvest they had. So I want to talk about Boxer. Please make sure again that you know what or whom Boxer represents in the issue of the allegory. So what is Boxer's personal motto? Boxer's personal motto is, I will work harder. And again, this will become important as Boxer continues on throughout the book. What does he represent? Why is the motto important? What did the cats do when it was time to work? So we'll do when it was time for work, the cat would vanish until mealtime. When we talked about the order that the animals appeared in chapter 1, we know that the pigs were first, the dogs were the buffer, but in the back, there were a couple dogs and cats, or one cat, that kind of scoffed at the idea that when Old Major's speech, all animals are equal. So why is it important that the cat is not there? The cat does not work. She only comes around for mealtime. And what was Benjamin's reply when asked whether he was not happier now that Jones was gone? He says, donkeys live a long time. Donkeys live a long time. None of you has ever seen a dead donkey. Again, the question that you need to ask yourself is why? Why does he say this? What is Benjamin's place on the farm? Why does he say this to the rest? Describe the flag, seriously? Describe the flag created by the animals and explain what the color and symbols represent. All right, the flag created by the animals was a white hoof and a horn on green. All right, so what do the colors represent? The green represents the fields of England. And a white puff represents the future republic of the animals, which they would have once they have overthrown all of the humans. All right, so 3 animal committees organized by Snowball. Some of the possible answers that you can have here, we could have egg production committee. So I'm just going to write a few down. Egg production committee, had the Clean Tails League. Wild Comrades Re-Education Committee, along with a couple other ones. All right. What was the single maxim from the 7 commandments? All right, so remember the 7 commandments, they were created in chapter 2. So if we go back to chapter 2 and we want to look at the 7 commandments, the 7 commandments, if I could find them. Okay, so the 7 commandments. Whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. Whatever goes upon 4 legs or has wings is a friend. No animal shall ever wear clothes. No animal shall sleep in a bed. No animal shall drink alcohol. No animal shall kill any other animals. All other animals are equal. All right, in chapter 3, we have learned that some of the less intelligent animals are unable to remember all 7. So the 7 commandments needed to be reduced to 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. And this way, well, the higher level animals can remember all 7. The lower thinking animals cannot. And in order to make sure that everybody adheres to the rules, we take those 7 and we combine them down. 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. All right, what happened to the 9 puppies born to Jessie and Bluebell? So the 9 puppies are taken, by Napoleon. And he says that he is going to be in charge of their education. We will see later how he educates these 9 puppies, what they become to him, and how important they are in protecting him. All right, so what did Squealer threaten would happen if the pigs didn't receive the milk and extra apples? Again, why are the pigs getting more than the other animals on the farm? I thought everybody was supposed to be equal here, but we can clearly see that the pigs are putting themselves in a point of leadership. They are not working as hard as the other animals. They are merely barking orders, and then they're taking more food and drink. And for them, they say that if they don't, that Mr. Jones would come back. So Squealer threatens that Mr. Jones would come back if the pigs didn't receive the milk and extra apples. Okay, please remember that when we did our rhetorical appeals and we're looking at ethos, pathos, logos, we want to look at some of these strategies for Squealer. Squealer is one of our most, we don't need those. Squealer is one of our most All right, so also when we go through chapter 3, what I need you to understand is the difference between Napoleon and Snowball, their difference and their similarities. So if we look here, it says the other animals understood how to vote, but could never think of any resolution of their own. Snowball and Napoleon were by far the most active in the debates, but it was noticed that these two were never in agreement with whatever suggestion either of them made, the other would be counted on to oppose it. Even when it was resolved, a thing no one could object to in itself, to set aside the small paddock behind the orchard as a home for a rest of animals who were past work. All right, so again, these two, Snowball and Napoleon, very important characters. Please remember who they represent. Look at what Orwell is using them for in the allegory. And then again, Squealer as our persuasive speaker. Molly, if we look at Molly, she is the upper class. Molly refused to learn any but the 6 letters, which spells her own name. So when we continue to go on, before chapter 4, familiarize yourself with all the important elements in chapter 3. Again, know the characters and know who they represent.